It's not just paint. Hey y'all, APG Jamie here. And I'm happy that you're here too. So, sometimes when you want to do something and you're not sure what you want to do, sometimes the best plan of action is to use up some of those old craft paints that you seem to have that just seem to multiply over there. So we're getting Gelli. This is a Gelli Arts, trademark, gel printing plate. It's large. What size is it? I don't know. 12 by 14-ish. I don't know. And we have a large brayer. I think it's a 6-inch brayer, if it makes a difference to you. And I'm using purples and magentas. Not necessarily pink, although there is some pink involved, okay? That first color I think I put down is called Azalea. I like the color for the lips on my Caucasian faces that I paint from time to time. I just really like it for lips. It ends up being somewhat, in these monoprints, in my opinion anyway, sort of dusty, not a clear color. I can't even explain it. Anyway, and we will over print some of these. I am printing on copy weight cheap, may I say, cheap copy weight paper. Okay, so that's kind of not real clear. Anyway, for the prints, and I'm using cardstock, the Nina cardstock for the brayering off paper because I like those too. And I'm not using stencils today. I am using mostly packaging type stuff. That first one that I used was from, I don't know, some kind of cookies. I wasn't that crazy about it. So after this session, I tossed that into the recycle bin. And hopefully I'll remember next time I eat that, whatever that kind of cookie was, I'll be like, no, I don't want to keep that. I'll just recycle it straight away. And let's see what else. Oh, we've got... my husband brought me home. I think it was my husband. I don't know where they came from. So when I don't know where it came from, I blame my husband. All right. They have circles on them. It's a not styrofoam, although it is a foam. It's not styrofoam. I don't know what kind of foam it is. It's foam. It's round. There it is. And there's another one that is a different size, round, but it's like that. But it's a smaller or a larger. I don't remember now, because it's been a weekend. And we're just putting that down, and we're going to print that onto our brayering off paper over there because it's got paint on it. So, I mean, why not? Yeah. When you mono print and you just get nothing but, interesting stuff sometimes. Sometimes it's not so much. But when it's stuff you don't really like, sometimes cutting it down or painting over it with another color or stenciling over it with white or black or whatever, it makes it just a-okay. And I am using the same piece of copy paper to go around the very edge to help keep my hands from getting quite so painty. I mean, you still get painty unless you have, gloves on. And it's just part of the nature of the mono printing plate, Gelli plate even. So, and it is the brand, Gelli Arts is the brand I do prefer. I believe it's the only one I even own, for that matter. I have a couple different sizes. And I am using the one teal color, pale teal, robin's egg. I don't know what the color is because I did not note down the colors. My main objective was to use up some of these paints. And just so you know, I emptied one bottle. One. I'm telling you, I don't know what happens with these craft paints. They grow. I don't understand it. That's like it's almost like embossing powder. The more you use, the more there is in your container. And yeah, I'm not paying any attention to translucency or opaqueness of any of these craft paints. I'm pairing 3 together because that's what I tend to do. That's just what I tend to do. Not always, but just tend to. And I'm not overly mixing them. I'm leaving them kind of, haphazard on there. Boy, oh, I know what color that is. That one is called cranberry, and I am quite fond of it. It's red. No, it's magenta. No, it's cranberry. I don't know the brand, y'all. I buy whatever brand is basically on sale or that kind of stuff, and I'm trying not to buy any until I get at least 3/4 of what I currently have in the studio used up. Okay, and I do tend to like purples, and magenta falls into the purpley category, I think. That's the problem with some of these craft paints. It's such a pretty color. How can you not get it, Popo? And speaking of colors, I sometimes think the 1 or 2 or 5 colors we tend to avoid in our art making are the exact colors our personalities need. And that's why we avoid those colors. Because somehow, subconsciously, we know we need it, but we don't want to face that fact. So we don't use it. We use extremely little of it. Khaki. That's the color I'm not a fan of. Khaki. That tan, green, gray. I don't even, does it really even have a color? I don't know. I have some out there in the studio. I use it from time to time. I don't wear it very often. And my husband wears khaki pants all the time. Forever. That's how I get that color in my life. Anyway, here is that azalea color. And I do like the color. It just somehow to me seems dingy in these prints that we're pulling today. And I'm thinking I'm going to be using these papers for a future project. That's kind of my motivation. Because I don't need painty papers. I have some. I like them. I call them backgrounds because they're just basically blank. Take it to the bank, y'all. Blank backgrounds. You can doodle on. You can do whatever you want. You can overpaint them, write on them, collage with them. Gosh, there's just really no end to painty papers, especially the copyweight papers or deli wrap paper. That's nice and thin too, y'all. Now this is one of those sticker tiles from the Dollar Tree, and I thought it would make interesting. It does kind of make interesting. I don't know that, well, the colors I used, there definitely doesn't look stonish, but I didn't toss it. I still have it. It's still with my mark making stuff. See how this is kind of dingy, and that's got that azalea color. I do like this. I know I said it. I'll probably say it 20 more times. So, if you're a drinker, that's going to be your drinking word of the day, azalea. Anyway. So I did, okay, we're about 9 minutes into this video, and I made monoprints for an hour. I did front and backs. How many pages did I get? I don't know, because I counted 3 or 4 times, and I have forgotten 5 times. Because I've got the copyweight paper, and then I've got a few cardstocks of the brayering off papers. And then that one that I used to help keep my hands, my edge piece, I'm counting that one too. I think I ended up with like 10 pieces of copyweight paper and 4, maybe 5 cardstocks. I don't know, something like that. And I wasn't in a rush. I, was taking my time. I had to deal with some paint boogers from time to time, because that's what happens with these, lesser expensive craft paints when they start getting, 15 years old. I don't know how old they are, y'all. Some of them, I guess, could be that old. I don't know. Anyway, they start getting, boogers in there. And some of the little nozzles, that you squirt it through, some of those are blocked, and some of them are stopped at, and some of them even have that little thing broke off into the hole. That just happens. Well, it happens with me. So I just assume it happens with everybody. This is a fun piece of packaging, and I think my husband brought it home too. It was like both sides were sealed up together, and I thought it was like in 2 separate pieces, but it's not. It's one whole piece. I couldn't cut it in half, because if I cut it in half, then all the air comes out of the little, it's like bubble wrap, only it's in a tube. And I was so surprised how much I liked that stripiness to it. I will use that stuff again. When? I don't know. One day. So we're putting on one whole sheet and then the partial sheet. And our edge pickup are there. And we're just doing that. There's not a whole lot more I can say about it. Oh, look at that. I'm not necessarily a real big stripy person, but I like that. Look at that. Yeah, baby. Fun. Silly fun. Something to do without too much really without any overthinking. I'm like, okay, what do we do now? La, la, la. And after I do a session, I tend to clean my plate well. My experience has proven to me that when you leave the crusty bits on there that we do like, that's why you monoprint for an hour, so you can start getting those crusty bits built up, right? That if you leave them on there, they tend to leave a divot of sorts on your plates. And from my understanding of other people, it's any brand of a permanent mono printing plate like this, the jelly kind like this, okay? And so I do tend to clean them up. Oh, regular bubble wrap. That's a double-sided one, by the way. It's a bag. It's like a bag, bubble wrap bag. Anyway. So yeah, I tend to clean it up. I like to use packing tape around the edges, where it gets really dry and really crusty. And one day I'm going to use those bits, because I have a small amount. I use the same tape to pick. Anyway, no, I didn't show it. I think I've shown y'all, or I've done a video before of cleaning the plate. I don't put the mineral oil or the glycerin. I always get those two confused. Or what a lot of people use is the baby oil on their plate. I don't do that every time. I do like to do that basically once a year or a year and a half. It did not need it after I cleaned it up this one. And when I say that, if your plate has, I'm going to call it sticky, but it's not sticky. Okay, it's not sticky. It's just sort of sticky. That helps the paint hold on and your paper to grab it. Okay, in my opinion. Because I think sometimes if you get too much of the baby oil, glycerin, whatever it is, that it tends to make some of the craft paints separate and bead up, which in itself is a fun painty textural looking thing, because there's visual texture and then there's actual physical texture that you can feel when you slide your hand across it. Okay. So we're just going to do this for another 30 minutes. No, not really. I filmed about an hour's worth, and I got it trimmed down to about 30 minutes. There is an extensive photo montage. So if you're already tired of watching me monoprint, you can zip to the last 5-ish minutes. I don't think the photo montage is 5 minutes, although I guess it could be. It's extensive. I haven't timed it. I guess I could stop it and go look right now. Hang on. And I'm back. You didn't even miss me. Wasn't even 2 seconds for y'all. Anyway, it's a couple minute montage. Okay? I take a photo of the front and the back. Which is the front and which is the back? I don't know. I took one side first and I took the second side second of each page and the cardstock, and I think I even did the edge piece. Okay. And I was trying to basically use there's a booger now. Oh, you get painty on those, I'm just saying. But they can leave interesting marks too. Your brayer, I don't clean my brayer off very often. Gosh, I've never cleaned the 6-inch one. And my other one, what is that? Is that a 3.5 or a 4-inch? I don't know. The regular speedball one. I've cleaned it like 3 times in all the years that I've used it. Because mostly there's that cookie packaging. Mostly if you keep it brayered off pretty well, it's very thin. The paint's on there very thin. Oh, and speaking of the brayers, after you brayer and you clean your brayer off on your extra paper or whatever, if you should happen to do that kind of thing, and you lay your brayer down, lay it so that the brayer side, the round side, is facing up. Otherwise, it's liable to stick to the paper you brayered off on. Just saying. And that can make a mess. I do like the bubble wrap. You know, it's just like so magical on there, isn't it? That bubble wrap. Oh, and the sequin waste. We didn't use any of that. We just were using packaging that I had piled up over there. Sequin waste is good. You know, they punch sequins out of little thin plastic, shiny plasticky stuff. And what's left is, you know, the round circly parts, or depending on the type of sequins. I mean, I've seen all kinds of shapes of sequins. And yeah, I don't know what I'm going to talk about for another 30 minutes. Just more of the same. I know, I get concerned about these kind of videos. Well, actually, more boogerage. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so I am trying to make sure I shake them up every time. And there we go. More of the same. You know what it's a good time for? Did you start singing it already without me? Musical interlude. It's a musical interlude for you, for me, just we, musical interlude. I don't even remember the last time we did that. Goodness gracious. Anyway, you see that azalea one. I just wasn't, I don't know, I wasn't crazy about it. So we overprinted that one. I think we overprinted a couple of those, but I don't know for sure. I don't remember. Maybe y'all remember. If we watch close enough, maybe we'll know. I'm like, I don't know if I like that one. I don't know. I don't know. They're sitting out there. You know, they've dried over weekend. And I do suggest that you let these dry at least overnight. They may seem dry, you know, after 30, 40 minutes, but I really recommend you letting them dry at least overnight. Now, if you watch PM Artist Studios, okay, they make a lot of stencils, and Patricia will a lot of times leave her paper on there. I don't know how long she leaves it on there. I don't know if it's just overnight, over week, I don't know. But a lot of times she lets her whole little mono printing plate with the paper on top dry before she takes it off. I've never done that. I'm almost an instant gratification kind of girl. Almost. I mean, oh, excuse us, champ. Anyway, yeah. See, leave your brayer so that it's up, you know, the brayer side up so it don't get stuck to your paper. That's a mess right there, I'm just saying. And I try to use the same, you know, packaging. Well, this is one of those plastic tiles. I think it's to like decorate behind your or around your, I don't know, whatever you want to stick it to your wall. I can't see where it would stick necessarily real well for real long. Just saying. But, you know, and at $1.25 now, I don't know about that. Well, at the time of this voiceover, they went, you know, not $1 anymore. And we're losing the 99-cent stores are going by way of Tuesday mornings because, you know, they're gone too. And there's a pull. Okay, now we're down to about 20 minutes left of the video. No, it's not that long, y'all. I keep saying that. Self-entertaining. And I did cut out some parts when I was sitting there and had to answer the phone or had to go down the hall to the ladies' room or talk to my little puppies because sometimes they need pets. They need pettings. And sometimes I just need to walk around for a minute. Go take a turn around the yard. Check on those 2 figs that are left on my fig tree. I don't know. I'm not sure how you're supposed to know when they're ready to eat. They don't look yummy. And truthfully, I'm not sure I've ever had a fig all by itself. When I was a child, my mother would get bags of figs from her friend Jackie Lake, who lived over by the lake. Well, it was a pond. We called it the lake, at the lake over there in our neighborhood. Guy, think of a large pond, not like Lake Houston or Lake Livingston or Lake Conroe for that matter. And they had a fig tree. And she would let my mother have the figs, and my mother would make jelly. She would use Jello brand gelatin, flavored gelatin, and the figs and make jelly. Okay? Of course, I don't know how she did it. I'm sure there's a recipe somewhere on the lines. And that's what she would do with the figs. That's the only way I ever had figs when I was little. Well, that and fig Newtons, because my daddy would like fig Newtons. I've had those as an adult too, you know. It's just kind of one of those things. Let's get a fig Newton. Yeah, I still don't care that much for them. Anyway, so I'm kind of looking forward to actually tasting a real, honest to goodness, fresh fig. Now, I know Hottie Popo has fig tree, and she's lost most of hers, if not all of them, to the birds. Oh, the birds. Those danged old mockingbirds. Is that a mockingbird? It is attacking my cherry tomatoes. I plant my tomatoes in a bucket, well, sort of a bucket. It's a big pot, out in the front because it's south facing, and they really like it out there. I have found for my yard The tomatoes do best in front. So that's where I plant them. Anyway, dang-do mockingbirds have been just attacking them. And I put the bird netting around there, and I don't know what, they're not as scared of that bird netting. They're like, that bird netting's not going to catch me because I'm a mockingbird. Is that a mockingbird? Anyway. And they have been really abundant this year, the mockingbirds. I don't think I've ever seen quite so many. So, yeah. Anyways, still mono printing. And if you should hear some scrapely noises, that's the wind blowing. We went from raining to, well, actually it was very windy too in May, wasn't it? To still windy-ish. Our weather patterns are changing. Y'all know that. Natural earth cycle. Ever heard of an ice age? We've never been through an ice age, but we've heard of them. We learned about them in the school and on the Discovery Channel and stuff like that. They happen for a reason. And man's not necessarily the reason. Just saying. Natural cycles are natural cycles. So here we go. Oh, and we are in hurricane season. So we stay prepared because you never know when a disaster might strike your area or outside of your area that will prevent you from getting a can of beans or a bag of pinto beans. Pinto beans. Yummy, yummy. Ooh, maybe I'll put some in the pot. And a little pinto beans in the pot. Oh, that's so good, y'all. Anyway. Just pick up an extra 2 cans of whatever you normally buy in a can. And then the next time you go shopping, pick up another extra 2 cans. And eventually you'll have a bag and you'll have a week's worth of food to eat should you happen to have a disaster. It's called preparing, not hoarding. Okay. So we're still doing that. And it's starting to look good for that photo montage to be coming up in another 20 minutes here, okay? No, not 20 minutes. More like 3 something. Getting close. Oh, we're going to do a little flip-flop time? Oh, it's a little flip-flop time. Front and back. I know, and then I take a picture of front and back anyway. I don't know why I do that kind of thing. But I do. Some of them, they're interesting. I don't know what I'm going to do with them. I will probably use them in a project. In the same project? I don't know. We'll see. So, yeah. I snuck that one in on you, didn't I? Yeah. And if you have watched this far, I so appreciate you. Each and every one of you. I do. And it's a nice way to spend an afternoon. See, that's the edge paper. Now I'm going to spread them out. Spread them out so I can do my ta-da hands. You just have to wait for it. Get ready. We're almost there. Ta-da! Photo montage. Yeah, they're mostly interesting. They could be pretty. Well, yeah, you don't have to do anything to them. And sometimes I don't do anything to my mono printed papers. I don't. They make nice tags, clusters, greeting cards, master boards. We've already talked about collage. Maybe you could collage with them. Whiff. That's a word. Southern word. Whiff. It means with. Without the f. Anyway, so yeah. I do like it on my Caucasian girl lips. I will even put it on their lips and then give them a lipstick color over the top of that. I don't know. For me. Who makes it? I don't know who makes it. Yeah. I probably had that same bottle for 15 years, 20 years. No, I don't know how old it is. Probably has a copyright date on it. I'm not going to go look. We've got about 10 more minutes of photo montage to go. Anyway, I am so happy with all our new subscribers. Thanks so much. I'm so happy with all our old subscribers. Thanks so much. I do. I appreciate each and every one of you. Your likes, your shares, your kind comments, and your subscriptions. So, thanks for watching, and happy artin', y'all. Azalea.